వస్తుందండి. So please check the voice. If it is echo means I will stop this and I will go through our normal R&D because there might be some adjustments in this because I am not aware of this technology. Okay. Children, if you face problem, I will stop here. No issue. We are having our owner, so I will continue. And by next week, of course, then for second class, RAMESHWAR'S sir will come and you know everything about the YouTube because he is involved in this activity. Okay. Please check it now whether audio is clear or not. If not, I will end the stream and use our app. Sai Kumar and other people because Bhagavati, again many people are there. Let me know. Okay, okay. So of course by second class sir will come and take care of it. Okay. If you face any problem, let me know. I will change over to our own app. No issue. Okay. Okay. So now, in the recent days, Election Commission has increased the expenditure for the candidates contesting for the Lok Sabha and also state legislative assemblies. You remember Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. See, my point is, of course, for Lok Sabha earlier we had 2 members nominated from the Anglo-Indian community. Now the provision was put an end by the Parliament by making a appropriate Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay. Now, my question is, even when you take the example of Rajya Sabha, 12 members are nominated from among the persons eminent in various fields like art, architecture, literature, etc. Earlier, Tendulkar was nominated in that quota. Of course, many people like Mr. Rangarajan, etc. But other elected Rajya Sabha members, you know, Rajya Sabha members are elected from the elected state legislative assembly members. Okay. See, of course, any party which is having more state legislative assembly seats, automatically they will get more representation in the Rajya Sabha. See now, I will tell you why I am talking about this is maybe 8 years ago or maybe 10 years ago. Vijay Mallya. Of course, everybody knows his name, Vijay Mallya. Arthamayinda? Vijay Mallya, the promoter and owner of the very popular Kingfisher Airlines. Okay? He became the Rajya Sabha member from the Karnataka. He does not belong to any party. So, definitely there will be some sort of quid pro quo. There is no doubt in it. He will not belong to any party member. Now, next, one close aide of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. He is a Rajya Sabha member from the Andhra Pradesh, and he was supported by the YSRCP, the ruling party in the Andhra Pradesh. Of course, there are many such instances, many popular personalities entering into the fray by using the money and muscle power. Of course, Election Commission cannot assess what is happening there. Of course, we cannot blame it, leave that issue. But now, few states in India are bicameral. Few states in India are bicameral. Not all states. Few states in India are bicameral. What is the meaning of bicameral? 2 houses like assembly and council. Okay. Now, council members constitute from different categories. The members of legislative council to a state are elected in different manner. See, few are nominated few are nominated by governor on the recommendation of the chief minister. Of course, the recommendation of council of ministers headed by chief minister to be more appropriate. Then there is a graduate constituency, there is a local self-government constituency, and also teacher constituency. See, when you come to the graduate constituency, the people who have completed the graduation 3 years before the elections, means the standing period is 3 years. They are eligible for this voting. See, actually, even in this election, crores of rupees are spent. In the recently occurred, Telangana graduates constituency election. Of course, I had seen the paper. Each constituency, political leaders, maybe the ruling party or opposition party, whatever the case, they have spent more than 200 or 300 crores for the graduates election. And the election commission has not mentioned this. Of course, I am not criticizing, because their approach will be different. And the reason is all states are not having these councils. Only few states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Maharashtra, they are having the bicameral legislations. So now, Election Commission of India has not prescribed any expenditure limit for the graduate constituency or local self-government constituency, even teachers constituency. Also, in all these occasions, compulsorily the political parties or the candidates will spend the money. So what I mean to say is, you should have an idea that along with the Lok Sabha and Assembly, there are other elections which are conducted by the Election Commission of India where expenditure is involved. Be practical. And for council also, Election Commission of India will conduct the elections. That we have to remember. Don't think that for councils, State Election Commission will conduct the election. It is not correct. Okay? Yes. So this point, you should remember whenever you are writing the mains, saying that Election Commission has not prescribed any expenditure limit for the councils. And also, of course, see, as far as Rajya Sabha is concerned, they cannot assess what Kingfisher has given to the MLAs who have voted in favor of him. Okay, now, why? What is the reason for the extension of or increase of expenditure limit? What is the reason behind that? See, every cause will have a reason. What is the main reason for increase in the expenditure limit for the Lok Sabha constituency and also Assembly constituency? Swati, ఇప్పుడు వాయిస్ క్లియర్గా వస్తుందా? Rohit, voice is clear, I think. Okay, ठीक है. Now, so the reason is, yes, increase in population and inflation. Yes, earlier, see, Lok Sabha members are elected from the concerned Lok Sabha constituencies. Every Lok Sabha member will have the constituency, but Rajya Sabha no constituencies. So Rajya Sabha members will have the states, elected members will have the states. The state from which they have got elected. But when you come to the nominated members, even they will not have any states. Because they are nominated, the only requirement for that is he or she should be an elector. Means his name should be enrolled in the electoral list throughout India, even Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep, in the Indian geographical territory. Okay. Now when you come to the Lok Sabha, you are having the Lok Sabha constituencies. Like Hyderabad, you are having OIC, and Secunderabad, Kishan Reddy. Medchal, Revant Reddy. Three big shots from the Hyderabad. And Hyderabad is also one of the popular city in India from time immemorial. Not yesterday or today, or not 10 years ago, not 20 years ago. Since time immemorial, Hyderabad is a excellent city. Okay? Yes. So now each Lok Sabha will elect the person. That is called as a Lok Sabha constituency. In the same way, you are having the MLA constituencies. Member of Legislative Assembly constituency. Okay? So what happened? In course of time, our population has increased. Automatically, the number of voters will also increase. So automatically, the person has to spend more money. And the next thing is inflation. You know, when I was going to a school, mine was a popular convent in the combined AP. And our school was an aided school. And I used to pay 12 rupees 50 NP as a school fees per month. 12 rupees 50 NP. Now, for 12 rupees 50 NP, I think you will not get a good pen also. Even you will not get a good size Cadbury's. The minimum size, the minimum Cadbury chocolate price may be 20 or 25 rupees. Okay? So, there is abnormal inflation. So, considering the fact, they have increased this. Okay? That point you have to remember. Now, actually, what is happening? What is happening is, are the members spending only this, limit of expenditure? No. There is no doubt in it. But you can see, you can practically observe at the time of elections. You can practically observe at the time of elections, the money will flow like water. The money will flow like water. So actually, there is not a great difference in fixing or reducing the expenditure. I think the expenditure made by these candidates in the elections may be multiple times than the money prescribed by the Election Commission of India. Again, the next problem, of course it is not problem, the next thing is, we are talking about the expenditure of only the candidates. You can see all the parties will have their own expenditure. They will spend from their corpus, like TRS, BJP, Congress. And there is no limit on that expenditure. There is no limit on the party expenditure. They can spend like anything. Even they will hire the choppers, they will hire the private jets to campaign for polling. Okay? There is no limit on the expenditure made by the parties. They can spend at any rate. Okay? And few people say that, then what is the use? There is no limit on expenditure of parties. And the other thing is, few people say that there should not be any limit. So let them spend and reveal to the Election Commission. Because at least the real amount will come into picture. Automatically they will show only white money. At least Indian government will get the tax. But even if you do that also, rarely the people will show the exact figure. Main reason is everybody will have the more unaccounted money. That is a known truth. That you have to remember. And what is the idea behind this fixing the limit of expenditure is to create a level playing field. To create a level playing field for the contestants. But nowadays you can see whenever there are elections, money will move maybe more faster than water, if I am not wrong. Time and again you can see in the newspapers that the police are catching the money, or even they may not distribute the money. They may distribute silver ornaments, they may distribute gold ornaments, who knows? They may distribute televisions, refrigerators or mobile phones. Yes, because a study has revealed that at the time of elections, the sale of mobile phones was exponential. Because the contesting candidate will give the mobiles to these party activists, or even they may supply the voters to loot them. Okay, so what I mean to say is the idea behind this expenditure is to create a level playing field, but the reality is just they will show that amount, but the actual amount spent is far more than this upper limit. You try to, remember this. Yeah. Yes, we will move in that manner also. There is no doubt. Now, the context of this topic is the Election Commission of India has raised the expenditure limit for candidates contesting election. The following changes have been made. The expenditure limit for candidates for Lok Sabha constituencies was increased from 54 lakhs to 70 lakhs, of course depending on states, to 70 lakhs to 95 lakhs. The spending limit, means big states MP like UP will represent more population. They are allowed to spend more. The same case with the assembly members. Big states MPs, more expenditure. Small state MP, less expenditure. Why? They will represent less population. That we have to remember. Okay. Now, the spending limit for assembly constituencies was hiked from 20 lakh, 28 lakh to 28 lakh to 40 lakhs. That is for big states. See, the reality is, of course, it is a known truth. There is no need to hide the facts. Even at panchayat level, even for gram panchayats, the minimum unit as far as Indian, the basic unit of the representative institutions in India, the Sarpanch candidate will spend definitely maybe more than 40 lakhs on many occasions. So, of course, these figures, what I mean to say are they will not reflect the reality. Okay? Yes. Now, the enhanced amount of rupees 40 lakh would apply in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab, and 28 lakh in Goa and Manipur as far as assembly is concerned. So, big states for assembly 40, small states 28 lakh. Now, actually, Constitution of India has prescribed qualifications of an MP. Okay, qualifications of an MP or disqualifications of an MP, same way state legislative assembly members, etc. But it has authorized the parliament to make any changes. So by the Representation Act, you are having two People's Representation Acts, one in 1950, other in 1951. They have made a lot of provision, and this provision comes under the People's Representative Act of 1951. See, under Section 77 of the Representation of the People's Act 1951, every candidate shall keep a separate and correct account of all expenditure incurred between the date on which they have been nominated and the date of declaration of the result. So, what happens in the election process? The Election Commission will give the notification, and even they will also prescribe the nomination dates, and the person will go to the presiding officer and he will submit the nomination papers. And from that day until the results, the candidate should show the expenditure. The candidate should show the expenditure within the prescribed limit of time period. If not, if any candidate fails, then he will be disqualified in course of time. But generally, nobody will not do. Automatically, they will appoint some person to write and send the same. Or generally, nowadays, you are having the email, etc. Through email, they will pass the expenditure to the concerned presiding officer. incurred between the date on which they have been nominated and the date of declaration of the result. That point you have to remember. All candidates are required to submit their expenditure statement to the Election Commission of India within 30 days of the completion of the elections. You have to remember such kind of statements, because in the competitive examination, they will give a lot of statements. Instead of 30, they may give 90. If you are not specific about the 30, then you will lose the mark. So, ECI, Election Commission of India, within 30 days of the completion of the elections, an incorrect account or expenditure beyond the cap can lead to disqualification of the candidate by the Election Commission of India for up to 3 years under Section 10A of Representation of People's Act 1951. Remember 10A, Section 10A. In relation to expenditure, in relation to Section 10A, the person can be disqualified for 3 years. See, he will lose the membership, there is no doubt in it. And for the coming 3 years, he cannot contest any election. That is very important. It does not mean that after 3 years, the same person will become the MP. I mean, he will be disqualified, but when he is disqualified, automatically, within 6 months, Election Commission of India will conduct the election for that constituency. Now he cannot contest because he is disqualified for 3 years not to contest in any election. That is very, very important. Okay, now you remember Section 10A also. Now, of course, in course of time, the expenditure is increased. Okay, even at the time of COVID, when there were elections in Bihar, and you know, to contain the COVID-19, the political parties were asked to campaign through the digital media, and they asked the Election Commission saying that if we campaign through the digital media, cost will be more, permit us to spend more. So actually, they have been permitted to spend more by 10% of the earlier cap. Okay, that you have to remember. So Bihar elections, so because of pandemic, the decision was taken. Now, the last major revision in the election expenditure limit for candidates was carried out in 2014, which was further increased by 10% in 2020 to cope the major expenditure incurred because of the digital campaign. Okay, yeah. See, nowadays, because of these online classes, many people are facing many troubles. They should have the Wi-Fi. Again, everybody should have the smartphone. See, if there are 4 kids in a family, father, mother will go for working, and the 4 kids should have the separate phones. Okay, yeah, okay. The same year, Election Commission of India also found to study the cost factors and other related issues and make suitable recommendations. Actually, on the same year, Election Commission will constitute a committee. Of course, we will also discuss. The mandate for that committee was to how much we have to increase the ceiling limit. Now, why is there a need for ceiling on expenditure? Limits on campaign expenditure are meant to provide a level playing field for everyone contesting election. It ensures that a candidate can't win only because she is rich, but a candidate can win. The first requirement is he or she should be rich. Then only the parties will give you the ticket. So, what is the inner meaning to create a level playing field? See, all of you are enough mature. Whether it is occurring practically on the ground, no level playing field. Generally, parties will catch the big shots. He will join the party today. Tomorrow he will get the party ticket. Day after tomorrow he will contest the election, and after 4 or 5 days he may also become the minister. Yes, there are many instances of such things. Okay. The 255th report of the Law Commission. See, actually, every year or frequently, the Law Commission will give report on various systems of administration. On electoral reforms, argued that unregulated or Under-regulated election financing could lead to lobbying and capture, where a sort of quid pro quo transpires between big donors and political party candidates. Yes, quid pro quo. You give me 10 lakh rupees, I am having 100 votes in my hand. They will put. Now see what is happening. No truth. The candidates are having the meeting with the caste groups and religious groups, and they are offering huge perks. Automatically, they are getting the votes. Earlier, maybe 15 years or 20 years ago, whenever a candidate went for campaigning, the people used to ask the social benefits, community benefits, means like roads, etc. Now they are having meeting in a room, caste-based meeting center. What you want for your caste? So now even the political parties started giving the perks based on caste also. The best example is the Dalita Bandhu in the Telangana. Caste-based perk, there is no doubt in it. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So there is no doubt. There is a, concept of quid pro quo. The person who will spend more money, automatically there are many instances that they are winning over the election. Further reforms, cap on participants. Just now I told you, there is no cap on party expenditure. Then automatically party may show, because Supreme Court said that all the parties should show their balance sheets. If they will show, because there is no cap, they will show that. The EC has asked the government to amend the Representative of People Act and Rule 90 of the Conduct of Elections Rules 1961 to introduce a ceiling on campaign expenditure by political parties in the Lok Sabha and Assembly polls. It should be either 50% or not more than the expenditure ceiling limit provided for the candidate. Suppose now there are 543 elected Lok Sabha MPs. Now, if you consider 50%, suppose now it is 90 lakhs, if you consider the upper limit. Now 45 into 543 should be the maximum expenditure made from the party side. Okay? Or not more than the expenditure ceiling limit, or into 90. Provided for the candidate multiplied by the number of candidates of the party contesting the election. Generally, big parties will contest all the seats only. And few parties like BJP, they are having the allies. Congress is also having their allies. So that contesting candidates into number. Okay? Yes. The limit will ensure level playing field for all political parties. Why? There are few political parties, they are cash rich. They will spend more. And small political parties, which are not having the cash, they cannot spend the money. So, Supreme Court said that, but till today, they have not issued any such kind of guidelines. That you have to remember. Okay? Now, the limit will ensure level playing field for all political parties and curb the menace of unaccounted money in elections. Curb the menace of unaccounted money in elections. What is unaccounted money? That is black money. It will also control the money power used by political parties and their allies. But that kind of good things will never happen. Not only in India, even this is spreading to even highly advanced countries like America also. You have seen in the Trump elections. Okay? Now, Supreme Court observation. Supreme Court of India has said that money is bound to play an important part in the successful pursuit of an election campaign in Kanwarlal Gupta versus Amarnath Chawla case. What it said? Yes, money is manipulating the elections. There is no doubt in it. If you spend more money, you can attract more. See, nowadays 10,000, 20,000, of course, I don't know how much they are spending. Only God knows. Okay? Yes. Okay? Okay. Voters get influenced by this visibility of a candidate and party and huge election spending, thus impacts voter choice. pomp and show, abnormal meetings, and throwing flowers on the group of people from choppers. Appa, that person has thrown flowers on me with chopper. Definitely, I will vote to that person only. Okay? Yeah. Now, of course, Election Commission in 2020, as soon as they have increased the limit because of COVID, they have constituted a committee. ECI constitutes committee to examine issues concerning expenditure limits. Okay, this is from the Press Information Bureau. Election Commission has constituted a committee comprising Harish Kumar, ex-IRS, and DG investigation, S.H. Umesh Sinha, Secretary General and DG expenditure, to examine the issues concerning expenditure limit for a candidate in view of increase in number of electors, that is the population. Population has increased automatically, the number of people participating in the election, in voting has increased, and rising cost inflation index. Cost inflation index, you remember CII. Cost inflation index is nothing but 75 into consumer price index. Now everything has increased. Even the cost of tea, coffee, milk, all ingredients have increased. Considering the factor of COVID-19, the Ministry of Law and Justice on 19/10/2020 has notified an amendment in Rule 90 of Conduct of Elections Rules 1961, enhancing the existing expenditure limit by 10%. This increase of 10% will be applicable with immediate effect in ongoing elections, especially it was for Bihar, if I am not wrong. Expenditure limit for a candidate was last revised in 2014 by notification dated 28/2/2014, where in respect of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, it was revised by notification in 2018 because they were the new states formed in the 2014. After 2014. In last 6 years, the limit was not increased despite increase in rate from 834 million to 910 million, almost maybe 7 or 8% of increase. Now, further cost inflation index during this period has increased from 220 to 280 in 2019 to 301 now. So automatically more cost. Now even your Ukraine and Russia effect will also fall on the coming elections because of high price of crude oil. And even these political parties will also write a letter to the Election Commission of India to increase the expenditure limit. Maybe it may happen, who knows? It may happen. Okay? Yes. Now, the committee will have following terms of reference to assess the change in number of electors across the states, union territories, and its bearing on expenditure. So, how the number will affect the expenditure. Automatically, like I mean, we have to spend more money. So accordingly, ECI has increased the upper limit. To assess the changes in cost inflation index, it is nothing but 75 into consumer price index. Because all items cost has increased. Of course, they will not, I think they will not consider the liquor because the liquor is not in the consumer price index basket. But nowadays liquor has shoot up like anything. The major mode of expenditure for the political parties maybe the supply of liquor, because at the time of elections it is said that the liquor sales will increase exponentially, not 2 times or 3 times, exponentially. Because liquor, of course everybody will, of course, I mean, like liquor, and if they give foreign bottle, automatically they will vote it. Okay? Yes, it is no truth. There is no need to hide. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, to seek views, inputs of the political parties and other stakeholders, the committee was asked to meet with all political parties and their concerns. What should be the increase in price? See, in nutshell, all these are mere waste. Why means the money spent by the candidates is abnormally more. Even in Gram Panchayat, they are spending 40-50 lakhs, and even for a municipal councillor, they are spending 30-40 lakhs. If that councillor is a contender for the chairmanship, even they may spend 1 or 2 crores. Yes, if you are having 5 votes, 50,000. Yes, I had seen in the papers and I don't know. Okay? Now, to examine other factors which may have bearings on expenditure. Of course, what are the things which will affect the pocket of the candidate who is contesting in the election? To examine any other related issue. So this was the mandate for the committee. Now, of course, the committee already submitted the report within the stipulated time. Now, when you come to the background, so I told you just now, in 2020, it was increased because of the pandemic. The particular part of the feedback to the commission had asked for an increase in the expenditure of Bihar Assembly elections to meet the increased digital campaign expenses amid the COVID-19 pandemic. It was only a bahana. Are villagers aware of the digital campaign? Many people, they want anything in the physical form. Any pearl in the physical form. See, you have seen the election of, I think, Huzur Nagar, if I am not wrong. Huzurabad, Ital Rajendra. Huzurabad. So there was a report in a paper, not a local paper, saying that the election might be the costliest MLA election in India. And they have analyzed everything. What was the expenditure from government side? Means to tackle that election, even the ruling government had given lot of schemes. Okay? So all these are in the papers. A candidate contesting for an MP seat, 90 lakhs, maybe microscopic minority expenditure. They themselves will have a vehicles beyond 1 crore rupees or 1.5 crore rupees like Ferrari, Toyota, etc. It is a known truth and thousands of crores are spent. And in my personal opinion, if you want to minimize the poverty in India, my option is to reduce the term of the Lok Sabha by 2.5 years and Assembly by also 2.5 years. Why? If you get the election 2.5 years, the black money will be in circulation. The people who are having the black money, what they will do? They will distribute among the voters. Automatically, that money will be in circulation, and automatically that money will purchase items, etc. The purchasing capacity of the people will increase, and even there will be a lot of boost in economy. Even automatically, government will also get tax. And of course, it is my personal opinion. Because many studies have revealed that even when Hindustan Unilever CEO was addressing a interview in the CNBC TV 18, and he said that as this is the election year, definitely we will have 25% more demand for our consumable durables. He was saying because the people will get more money, they will purchase more. Because our purchasing capacity depends on our pocket size. See, software engineers, they will have good salaries. They will go to barbecue nation, chutneys, etc. A person, an ordinary person like me, very hardly go for the Udupi Raghavendra hotel, where I can get a plate of idli for 30 rupees or 35 rupees. If I go to chutneys, the rate is more than 100 rupees. What I mean to say is, our purchasing capacity depends on our pocket size. At the time of elections, the people will get money without any hard work. Automatically, they will spend more. Automatically, it will boost the economy. Hindustan Unilever CEO has revealed this fact. Okay? Now, the Ministry of Law and Justice notified an amendment in Rule 92 of Conduct of Elections Rule 1961, which enhanced the existing expenditure limit by 10%, applicable with immediate effect at the time of Bihar elections. Now, earlier revisions, just this point we have covered. Now, even they are talking about the increase in population, we have covered that. It is the amount an election candidate can legally spend for their election campaign and has to account for, which includes expense on public meetings, rallies, advertisements, posters, banners, vehicles, and advertisements. Everything. Now, on many occasions, advertisement will be given by the party. They will show in the party expenditure, which is not having any upper ceiling limit. Party will give the advertisement, and you can see at every petrol pump, maybe almost in all petrol pumps, you can see the photo of Modi. Ujala scheme. Yeah. And the posters, the party will supply that. So what I mean to say is, as the party is not having any expenditure limit, maximum amount will be shown in the party account. Yeah. These limit range for rupees 22, of course, this limit we have discussed, that depends on the population of the state. For bigger states, it is more. For smaller states, it is less than. Under Section 77 of the Representation of the People's Act, every candidate shall keep a separate and correct account of all expenditure incurred between the date on which they have been nominated and the date of declaration of the result. Just now I told you, and even after that, they have to show within the 1 month. If not, they will be disqualified. The limit prescribed by the ECI is meant for legitimate expenditure, because the lot of money in elections is spent for illegitimate purposes. See, I will spend the money and I cannot submit that expenditure. Like if I spend the money for liquor, I cannot reveal that to the election commission. It is a illegitimate. Luring any candidate, any voter is a illegitimate. Even if you donate anything to the church, temple, mosque, it is also illegitimate, because asking votes in the name of caste, asking votes in the name of caste religion is a wrong. It is the violation of code of conduct of election. Yeah, Rohit. Only drawback with elections within 2.5 years is unstable government and can affect infra projects and long-term development programs are definitely, but just I am saying my opinion. But again, one thing, the government will have a lot of benefit. Why? Government will also get more taxes. That may be far more than the election expenditure made by the Election Commission of India. That is true. Of course, now Modi wanted to have the Gemini elections for both Assembly and Parliament. They wanted to conduct the elections at the same time. That is a good idea. Okay. See, unless and until in the society morals and ethics are observed, these laws will not work. After passage of Nirbhaya Act, rapes have not decreased. After passage of strict money laundering acts, money laundering has not decreased. Okay. After banning of gutka in many states in India, the sale of gutka has not decreased. If you take a cigarette box, 75%, they will show a bad thing, that showing the impact of smoking. Nobody will, minimize the smoking. Okay. Now take the example of Russia and Ukraine. You know what is happening? It's totally immoral and unethical. Inhuman, first and foremost. You can solve any issue by the diplomacy. Take the example of Ashoka. After the Kalinga War in 261, he will put an end to the physical conflict. He will start his own moral code called as Ashoka Dhamma. But still Ashoka is called as the Great. Putin and his counterpart of Ukraine should take the example of Ashoka the Great of India. Okay? Yes. Now, yes, it is correct. It has often been argued that these limits are unrealistic and the actual expenditure incurred by the candidate is much higher. That is not true. Even a small child also says that. Of course, they will not benefit anything, because as they are not voters, or only for voters they will give something. Okay. Now, in December 2019, a private member bill was introduced in the Parliament which intended to do away with the cap on election spending by candidates. You know what is private member bill? What is private members bill? Of course, for our institute students, we have discussed in earlier classes also. Yes, a bill introduced by a member of parliament, but not a minister. Okay, and even we have discussed private member bill will be discussed only on which day?
Fridays.
Fridays only. Fridays only. Yes, everybody is correct. Yes. Okay. Now, the move was take. Yes, this is a good idea. Why good idea? Of course, it is my personal opinion. Don't consider my personal opinion as legitimate, because if you, remove the cap, a person who is having lot of money, what happens? He will spend the money, and in view of his future forecast that he is going to contest the coming elections, automatically what he will do? He will show more white money. He will convert all black money into white money, and the government will get more revenues in the form of taxation. It is also a good idea, but of course it will also have some other moral ideas, like it may harm the level playing field, saying that the poor person cannot contest the election. Okay, see, everything will work only in the society if there are morals and ethics. It is the reason why Mahatma Gandhi told several times, saying that there should be a religion in the politics. Any religion. Why? He says that every religion is having some morals and ethics. See, now MPs and MLAs take oath saying that they will not harm the constitution. But what they will do, next day only, they will jump into other party. It is a defection, harming the constitution only. Even a person resigning before the term of 5 years is also against the constitution, because constitution has prescribed the time limit of 5 years. For your personal benefits, you are resigning. Take the example of Karnataka and also Madhya Pradesh. What happened? The Congress legislature resigned, and next they contested from the BJP party. And in earlier, vice versa. They might have resigned from the BJP and contested from the Congress ticket. Who knows? It is existing in whole system, not a party or not a state. So when you are writing the mails, you have to give your personal opinion, not the opinion given in the paper, because everybody know what it is given in the prominent sites, and they will write that one only. Automatically, you cannot face them. You will get more marks only if you give your practical personal opinion. That is very important. Okay? Yes. Yeah. Chicken. Now, the move was taken on the ground that the ceiling on election expenses ends up being counterproductive by encouraging candidates to underreport their expenditure. So now, as there is no cap, they will go on, give the details. There is no cap on a political party's expenditure. Just now I told you, there is no cap on political parties' expenditure. Of course, I don't know, maybe reality, or because nowadays even in YouTube, Facebook, etc., there will be circulation of fake news. That is the problem with the electronic media. They said that nearly 650 crores of money of a political party was spent in the elections of Bengal. Political party, 650 crores, not the candidates. There is no cap. Yes. However, all registered political parties have to submit a statement of their election expenditure to the ECI within 90 days of the completion of the elections. Yeah, they will submit. They will submit everything because there is no cap on their expenditure. And of course, you are having two types of parties. One is registered, recognized. Other categorization is national parties and state parties. and that we will discuss in our routine classes. Okay? Okay. Now, even some people say that government should fund the elections. So the government should give the money to the candidates who are contesting from a national party. Actually, our government is having fiscal deficit. Now you see, the crude crossing 100 will have a lot of burden on our exchequer. So these kind of things will not happen. Again, suppose if this happens, if this provisions comes into existence, automatically there will be more number of parties, and the candidate will contest only to take money from the government. Now take the example of white cards in Telugu states. Almost all every family is having the white card. A survey has revealed that the number of white cards are more than the number of families. Earlier, not now. Now we are having the biometric. They have removed all fake cards and duplication of cards, etc. Earlier, what happened? The number of white cards were more than the number of families. How it was possible? One white card in Siddipet, one white card in Hyderabad, one white card in Manavapadu, one white card in Hyderabad, one white card in Srikakulam, one white card in Hyderabad. Yes, that has happened because earlier our apartment watchman also two white cards. But once his other card was linked, now he is having only card. So that is the problem. If the government starts funding, then automatically what happens? More parties will come to existence, and their aim will be only to take the money from the government in the name of contesting the elections. Yes. Now, this can bring transparency in the funding process, as public finance can limit the influence of interested donors' money and thereby help curb corruption. And recommendations on state funding. Yes, whenever you are writing mains, maybe Group 1 or UPSC, see Group 1, that is the top post in all state services, maybe Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, they are almost all equivalent to the UPSC. Then you should have the base, Supreme Court judgments, committee reports, and experts' opinion, and your opinion. What is the reality? What is in books? Indrajit Gupta Committee 1998, it suggested that state funding would ensure a level playing field for rural political parties, and argued that such a move would be in public interest. But just now I told you, more number of political parties will come into existence only to see that their candidates will get the money. And you can see the instances where some party candidates will take back their nomination if the opposition party lures him with abnormal money. Everybody is interested in money, not society. Sometimes not even family also. Yes, there are instances, family members, the daughter will kill the mother will kill the daughter for the sake of gold, for the sake of property. Yes, you can see in the papers. Husband will kill wife, wife will kill husband. And yesterday there was a news that a maid servant was putting the toilet cleaner in the eyes as eye drops of a owner, old woman. And what happened? Finally, she lost her sight. And when she lost her sight, she robbed every belonging of that house. And that old woman's son is working in America. And knowing this, when he came to Hyderabad, and after a report from the government, the eye hospital, it is revealed that they used some sort of poison. And finally, that maid servant was caught, and she revealed everything. It is how the humanity is going. See, parents should be with the children, because the blood relation is very important than all the relations. Arthamainda? Okay. Of course, sometimes if you are having good friends, they will also have a good relation, and good students and good teachers, they will also have a relation like the family. And the time and again, I will try to reiterate my school life, which is an excellent convent school, and where we are taught by Kerala teachers. Though they used to beat me like anything, but still I am having great respect to them. It is because of them I am standing here. Okay? Yes. Now, it also recommended that the state funds should only be given to recognize national and state parties, and funding should be given in the form of free facilities provided to these parties and their candidates. Law Commission Report 1910, it stated that a state funding of elections is desirable provided that political parties are prohibited from taking funds from other sources. So now if the government pays the money, they should not take the money from the other sources. But it is not a good idea because already we are having a lot of fiscal deficit. And if state wanted to give funds, then automatically the number of recognized parties will go on increasing, and even they will ask their candidates to contest in more number of seats only to take the money. You can see the reality. Once the GST was introduced, what happens? With fake bills, many people took the input tax credits, hundreds of crores. Now today, of course, nowadays everything is online. And only after 2 or 3 years, the government realized that ITC was fake. That is, input tax rate was fake. And such kind of things are very normal for India. They will ask their candidates to contest as dummies and hey, contest cheskondi, you will get the money. Contest karo, aapko paisa aane. And they will do the big form. National Commission to review the working of the Constitution. It did not support the idea but mentioned that an appropriate framework for the regulation of political parties need to be implemented before state funding is considered. It has not supported. But personally, it is not possible for India. If anything, if you are getting free from government means 90% you will misuse it. See, I will tell you one thing. 60 years is the retirement age that is appropriate. Okay? For the government services, servants, etc. So government should give pensions for the people, old age pensions, only who have crossed the 60 years of age. For political purposes, they are reducing the age for 58, 57 also. Why? They will use the public money for their personal party benefits. If such kind of things happen, again the ruling party will misuse these funds. And there are instances. Even Indira Gandhi was accused of that issue in the Raj Narayan or Ram Narayan case. Okay, Allahabad High Court has given the verdict. Yes. Now, the ECI is not in favor of state funding of elections on the grounds that it would not be able to prohibit or check candidates and other expenditures over and above what is provided by the state. So even though if state government gives the fund, the candidate will not stop spending it. He will again spend his own money. And some candidates will only contest to take the money. And it is like some sort of failure ideas. Okay? Yeah. Now, cost inflation index. You know what is inflation? Of course, for the people for whom the topic inflation is completed, they can answer. What is inflation? The sudden rising prices of commodities. Now, maybe within 10 days, the crude has jumped from 90 to 117, 118, 116, and don't know what happens on Monday because today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. If Zelensky and this Putin becomes aggressive, again it will fall on our head. More impact is caused to the Indian than the Russia and his counterpart. That is the inflation. Tomatoes jumping from 10 to 50, 50 to 100. That is inflation. Tomatoes falling from 100 to 80, 80 to 60, 60 to 40, now 10 rupees. Now 50 rupees, 4 kgs. That is deflation. Okay? Inflation. There should be nominal inflation. Take the example of RBI. RBI's goal target is 4 plus or minus 2 of inflation. But 4 is reasonable. There should be light inflation. Then only economy will prosper. Now, cost inflation index. It is used to estimate the increase in the prices of goods and assets year by year. See, actually, inflation is calculated by comparing the prices of this month with the previous month. This week with the previous week. Okay? Of course, it is a big topic we have discussed in our classes for seniors, and for juniors you will get in course of time. It is calculated to match the prices to the inflation rate. In simple words, an increase in the inflation rate over time will lead to a rise in the prices. Cost inflation index is equal to 75% of the average rise in the consumer price index. You remember, 75% into average rise in the consumer price index. Urban for the immediately preceding year. So they are considering the urban. Because there is CPI urban, CPI rural, CPI combined. Even RBI will consider these, all these to give their monetary policies. Monetary policy. Okay? Now, consumer price index compares the current price of a basket of goods and services. See, actually, each indices is having a basket of goods and consumer price index urban, consumer price index industrial workers, agriculture, because that basket items they will use. For me, I am vegetarian. That is very important. That basket is very important. If the chicken becomes 1,000, I am least bothered. But I will have impact even though I am vegetarian. How? If chicken becomes 1,000, these people will not consume chicken. Sunday they will purchase all the vegetables. Automatically, there will be a demand for the vegetables. Automatically, the price will increase. It is how the vegetarians will get impacted because of non-vegetarians and vice versa also. When the vegetable prices fall, sometimes chicken and egg will fall. When tomatoes fall, all vegetable prices will fall. Why? Tomato is having more externalities. Tomato chutney, tomato rasam, tomato dal, tomato rice, tomato ketchup, tomato sauce, tomato bhaji, tomato bath, tomato uttapa. Yes, they will make new items to see that they can use the vegetables which are at a lesser prices. Mixed vegetable curry, more tomatoes, other curries very less. Other vegetables very less. Okay. So that is the importance of basket. Over time, this basket will change. It is not static because our consumption pattern will change. Earlier, nobody used to consume the cornflakes. Now, everybody. Yes. Consumer price index compares the current price of a basket of goods and services with the cost of the same basket of the goods and services in the previous year to calculate the increase in prices. Previous year. The central government specifies the consumer consumer inflation index. Consumer inflation index by notifying in the official gazette. So this is about the expenditure increase, and next week also I will continue this topic with regard to there is a concept called as electoral bonds, and two concepts related to elections. Okay. So for this class, we will meet. I will meet with you next week, and you will have the second class at 9:45. Thank you for cooperating, everybody.